Yo, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dogs of all ages. What's up?
Hello.
Hello.
Don't get too excited because then
Yeah, I'm not going to get so pumped up. I'm just going to let you guys know, I am so tired right now. I did yard work earlier today. It was really hot, but I just want to put this out there. As I was doing the yard, there's like a slight breeze that was going on all day, and it was just like kind of felt like fall. Again, it's like 102 degrees. Yeah, like it's just cold weather or wind, right? And I was like, we're on our way. We're getting there. So much so that I even had to bring a Reese's cup. Not just a Reese's cup, but
not a cup.
Reese's peanut butter bat cup. So it's a bat.
Which one? Okay, put in the chat.
Whoa. Hold up.
Put in the chat.
This was for next live stream.
Do you prefer the cups, the pumpkins,
or the shaped ones?
Yeah, but is the like pumpkin better than like the Easter egg or the Christmas tree?
Yes, because
like,
it's Halloween. That's why.
Okay.
This was supposed to be for.
Pumpkins,
this is so funny.
Bats or ghosts?
It's funny because I didn't tell Steph this, but the next live stream we host right before HHN kicks off, I was gonna have a whole like, what's the Halloween candy? What do you guys like the most?
You
and go
ask
into
this every year.
Good.
And then they also have white chocolate ghosts now.
Yeah, and then they got like PB&J ones too, and
they have the Oreo Reese's now.
There's so many. There was the graham cracker ones we saw too. Yeah. Okay.
So many.
Or animal crackers.
They do kind of all look the same. They're just all kind of like a blob, but
yeah,
they taste better than the cups.
I agree.
It's like the ratio of peanut butter to chocolate.
This live stream sponsored by Reese's. Yeah.
Reese's,
anyway.
if you want to sponsor us.
No, please don't. That would be very bad for my health. Physically, not mentally. Anyways, people, how you guys doing? Welcome to the live stream here in Studio Hondo. Guess what? If you haven't already seen from the beginning of this live stream, it's a very laid back, chilled live stream. We are literally which this is a little more than chilled, but we are just 10 days away. I think it's 10 days. I don't know. We're like a little over a week from the beginning of Halloween Horror Nights kicking off here in Orlando.
Depends on what night you're talking about. Are we talking about team
opening
member
night
preview? Are we talking about
doesn't
premium
count.
Scream night?
Doesn't exist. Opening night. That's how Halloween Horror Nights begins.
Okay.
Opening night. So which is what? Yeah. 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, 10 days away. That is crazy. We are 10 days away from the opening night of Halloween Horror Nights. And of course, what you brought up, we're a week away from team member preview. And then 9 days away from Premium Scream Night. That blows my mind. Like, Halloween Horror Nights is next week. It's the next week.
Yeah.
That is wild. And it's also very exciting, but crazy how that sneaks up on us so fast. So anyways, tonight's live stream, as you guys saw in the title, it's just a live Q&A. We're just laying back, feet's kicked up. I have nothing to put my feet up on. But we're just kind of hanging out. We're chatting. We're answering your questions. We're going to go through the chat and just chat with you guys. I also asked on Instagram as well last night for you guys to send in your questions. So I have questions from Instagram too. We'll get through those as well. And we're just going to relax, man. Like today's a chilled one because we're leading up to next week, Tuesday. This is what we're planning. Next week, Tuesday night is our Halloween Horror Nights 34 Eve live stream. Now I know we would always host our Eve live stream on Thursday night, the night before opening night, obviously. However, we are going to be out of town. We're not going to be in Orlando for opening weekend, except for the last day. We'll hopefully
Sunday.
We should be back for Sunday. But Wednesday, we're going to be out of town. Stephanie's got a national competition coming up. As you guys can see, we have some hardware proving it. The Florida State champion is heading to Pittsburgh to compete. So we're excited for that. So we'll be out of town so Tuesday night, we're going to try our best to do our Eve live stream instead of on Thursday. It'll be on Tuesday, and we're going to go over all things. One of the main things that we usually focus on, obviously, everything Halloween Horror Nights based, but our most anticipated list. And we're going to dive into the houses, scare zones, and all that. Tonight, we're just kind of laying back and just chatting with you guys. I'd also like to personally know like what you guys are most interested in and what you guys are looking forward to, but we'll also get questions from you guys in the chat. And like I said, go back to Instagram. I feel like this is the most like tired I've ever been. So I'm like, all right, Steph, you take it from here.
You got
right?
this.
But yeah, hey, I just want to start off tonight's live stream, of course, like we've done the past few live streams. Where are you guys watching from? Where are we tuning in from? Who is watching from the farthest location? That's what I'd like to know. And then who's also the closest one besides Hondo right now? So put in the chat where you guys are watching from. We'd like to see where around the world you guys are from and tuning in. And with that, why don't we just get into our first question?
Yeah.
What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go to Instagram. I'm going to pull our first question from Instagram, and then we'll go back and forth with you guys in the chat. So if you guys have any questions, you guys want to ask anything Halloween Horror Nights related, whatever, you guys are more than welcome to throw it in the chat. But I'm going to get the first question popped up here from Instagram. As I can see, a lot of people were putting in the chat. Let's see, we got California, Floribama, Alabama, Metro West, Long Island, Davenport, O-Town. We got Chicago, Pennsylvania, which we're headed to soon. Louisiana, Tennessee, Winter Haven, Ohio, Long Island. We get a couple people from Ohio.
Another Ohio.
Yeah.
OH.
Sweet. So that's coming in. Right now, I honestly think the furthest one currently is from California.
Yeah.
I think that is the furthest one. Mark said Hunters Creek, Orlando. That's not far from us. Shanna, Winter Haven.
Arkansas.
Not too far.
Yeehaw.
Yeehaw. Except she spelled it yee-yaw.
Yeehaw.
Yee-yaw. All right, Paige. Yee-yaw. Anyways. Oh, we got some Maryland, too. Sweet. Daytona Beach. All right, I'm going to spend the whole live stream just reading where everyone's from. Let's get into the first question. If I can get my phone to work. Okay. This one's from Flavier. If I'm saying it wrong, I apologize. But Flavier on Instagram said, when's the next time you'll go to California's HHN? Which is crazy how we're a live stream or a channel that's dedicated mainly to Halloween Horror Nights here in Orlando. And our first question for a live Q&A has to do with HHN Hollywood. Stephanie, do you want to tell everyone our dates of going to HHN Hollywood this year?
This year?
Yeah.
Not this year. But
We're not going this year.
as soon as we can afford it, we will be back there.
Yeah.
It's so expensive. The hotel, the flights, the tickets. It's a lot, you guys. So we tried to swing it this year. We have a lot of other things happening throughout September and October this year. So with that, and then also the price, we couldn't swing it.
Yeah.
Hopefully next year, but
yeah,
we'll
and I'll be honest, like we also have a wedding coming up too. So like all of our priorities are on December for our wedding.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of the big thing too, I want to say this. We got the Frequent Fear Plus with Express. Which means we spent a lot of money.
Oh, I was like, what?
Yeah, so we spent a lot of money on just the Orlando event, HHN Orlando. And I'll tell you this, I think it was like this whole year, we said, we're not going to buy it. We're not going to buy it. It's going to be fine. We're going to save money. The night before, we're like, okay, tomorrow we're going to go in the arena. We're not going to buy it. We're just going to get our Frequent Fear Plus pass. We even thought about downgrading too. But this year has such a strong potential to be such a memorable year. When the tickets went on sale, we sat there and we stared at the Express Pass and we went, we're going to be so busy September. We're going to be so busy October. The way our schedule lines up with work and everything, it's going to be so hard to be able to make it for Stay and Scream, and we can't really stay late. So we're going to have like 2 hours of being able to go to the event and do things. And if it's going to be such a busy year, we don't want to spend our only time going to the event once, twice, maybe 3 times in the weekend, but more than likely like once or twice. We don't want to spend it just like waiting in 1 or 2 houses. We want to be able to get as much as we can done with that Express Pass because, again, there's more shows, more offerings throughout the scare zones, the street experiences. So we got that Frequent Fear Plus with Express, and it was over $2,000, and that really hurt. That's like getting to our mortgage status. So,
also, if you guys have never participated in bodybuilding, it is extremely expensive. So
yeah,
this season with competing and doing 4 shows, it's been a lot. So we just kind of had to make some choices.
yeah.
But hopefully next year's lineup looks good because this year's lineup looks really good. I'm sad to miss this one. So hopefully next year, especially, well, I guess out there it's not an anniversary, but hopefully next year is a really good lineup as well.
Yeah, we'll see. I will say this, pertaining to like Hollywood's event, I'd love to go to Hollywood. I really would. And maybe it's still in the cards for us this year. Sometimes Steph and I, we look at each other and we're like, screw it. We're going to die one day anyway. So let's do it, you know? But we don't know, because there has been a lot of houses this year that are kind of like repeat houses, but none of them were houses we've experienced. So it's one of those where I'm like, it would be cool to at least say we have done it. However, I think it would be even better if we hold off and wait for next year, knowing that it's a anniversary year here in Orlando, but for Hollywood, maybe we get some newer projects and things, and maybe some shared stuff with Orlando's anniversary. So maybe that'll be more in the stacks. But again, we have so much going on. So HHN Hollywood this year is probably a no, but don't say never. I would give it, like, out of a scale of 1 to 10, I'd give it like a 1.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe like a 2 or 3.
No, I'd probably go with 1, to be honest. We haven't really talked much about it.
No.
But we did enjoy it. The last time we went, and the only time we went, was back in 2023, and it was a lot of fun.
It was so much fun.
End of September into October, the weather is just incredible, and the scenery, man. I'll tell you, one of my favorite things about HHN Hollywood, besides the scare actors and the energy that they brought, which is so much up our alley. I loved it. But going down the escalators, that was so cool. Being in Hollywood really cool. And seeing the valley, that was just so neat.
That is really cool.
It's just cool, man.
Love the weather. It's so nice.
Yeah, I mean the weather. Yeah, let's be honest, so good.
Wish we had that.
So yeah, Flat Riera. Yeah, probably not until next year. And once next year comes around, maybe not till the next one after that. We'll see. It's hard for us to do it. So I want to bring this up real quick. Jeff Martin, whoever you are.
No message.
No message attached. Just says $9.99. Here, take it.
Thank you.
Jeff Martin, thank you for the $9.99. We appreciate that, man. Don't have to do it, but my man's a boss, and he's just like, here, I just found this on the ground. You can have it. We'll give it to Hondo for the Hondo Tree Fund. But we appreciate you, Jeff. I mean, do you have a question, Jeff? Like, ask a question. Do you want to know something? I'm 5'10". On shoes, 5'11".
A whole inch?
I mean, with these on, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah. On a good day, I'm 6 foot.
On a good day.
No, that's not happening. It's like from Love Island. What's his face? I forgot his name.
Where are the lightsabers?
Oh, yeah. I forgot the lightsabers. Yeah. Yeah. You know the problem? I'll say this, Justin. With the lightsabers, I really couldn't find the chargers for them. So they were like dead, and they're going to stay dead. So bringing them out wasn't really going to do much. I will say this.
Did you say you were going to?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I was going to bring them out just for a little show time. Maybe we'll do it for the HHN Eve live stream next week. We'll do that. But anyways, yeah. Cool. Okay. So yeah. Next question.
You want to do the Instagram ones?
I want to do one more Instagram one.
Okay.
Or do you want to let's do some YouTube ones.
I'm writing them down, so
let's do a YouTube one. Okay. We can go back and forth. So what do you got from the YouTube chat?
Oh. I thought you were going to do Instagram. What kills do we think we will see in the Jason universe maze?
Ones with that little machete.
We've talked about this. Brian has not seen the Jason universe, any of the movies.
I haven't seen any Friday the 13th.
Has
any
not
Jason.
seen any of the. Well, he saw Terrifier 3. We saw that in theaters, but not 1 or 2. What are the other IPs? We don't really know much about the WWE stuff.
Yeah, I will say this. I mean, we have time, and I feel like
10 days.
Plenty of time. We just need 5 nights.
We do have a flight to and back Pittsburgh.
Yeah, true. We could watch Friday the 13th on the flight.
Or Terrifier.
Nah.
Some little kid will be sitting next to us.
Yeah, no, I don't want to. I don't even think they would have that on the flight
or
on our phone.
No, we download it and watch on our phone.
True. Yeah, no, I don't. Maybe like I would go Friday the 13th, if anything. Because like with WWE, with like the Horrors of White 6, you can't just like watch a WWE match. Like you have to like look at the the documentary that they have on Peacock of Way Bryant. Like I think we need to
watch that instead.
Watch that,
because it's
yeah.
not wrestling. It's
Yes.
not like
it's about him, the story, and that, yeah, which
it's
we should
not
know.
like we're going through the house and it's like a wrestling match.
So we should do that. We should definitely do that. But anyways, let's get back to Jason Universe real quick, right? I mean, what do we think? What was the question again? What is the bloodiest?
No, what kills do we think we'll see?
Oh, kills.
And I saw Brian said the Kevin Bacon kill, which I agree. I like that one. And
I don't know what that is.
it's the one where he gets like pierced through with like an arrow from behind, like it's like through the bed. But what's really cool about that kill, I've told you this before because it was in a like documentary, like how they make the movies type of show. And when they were doing that one, the like blood was supposed to come out of like a pressurized like hose, and it didn't work. And like back then, with it being all practical, it's expensive to do these things multiple times. So they were like, we just have to get this shot. So they were like, they had to basically like blow into it pipe, and get the blood to like shoot through. So it's kind of cool.
That's cool.
I love stuff like that.
Yeah, honestly, like just movies and learning how to do like practical effects is so cool, especially like horror movies. I feel like horror movies, they do like unique practical effects.
Yeah, especially back in the days.
Yeah, like those are the best. Let's just be honest. But yeah, with Jason Universe, I mean, obviously we're gonna see like iconic kills from like basically throughout the entire franchise of Jason.
Yeah.
So I feel like isn't there a scene with like the bed snapping in half? I don't know why I see that.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I did see someone said the sleeping bag kill, which that's a good one too.
Cool. I'll be honest. I'll watch Friday the 13th. This like week.
Yeah, we gotta watch. We gotta watch it.
Yeah, I'll definitely watch it. We've seen Five Nights at Freddy's. We've played the game before. We've seen Fallout. We've watched the series. And I played the game way back in the day. But yeah, WWE Terrifier. I've seen Terrifier 3, like Steph said. But you've seen 2. You haven't seen 1, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. So like,
I don't really care to watch 1.
Yeah, we have some information with Terrifier at least in the vibe. Really, WWE and WWE is the main one, right? That's the main one for both you and I. Jason Universe, I need to really catch up on, where I feel like you have some information.
A little bit. It's been a very long time since I've watched any of those.
Yeah,
but
they'll be worth it for you and I to get onto.
Yeah.
So, okay, cool. Yeah, well, there you go. Jason Universe. Sleeping bag.
Nice.
Next question. What do you got over there, Steph?
Dry or wet path did you take will be the question of the event that people are asking. Like, did you do the dry path or the wet path?
Yeah.
We, for 1 or 2, will definitely be doing the dry path.
Yeah.
I do not like getting wet. I don't like doing water rides. I don't like... If
you're not prepared for it.
I think I brought this up before, but even when we do PhilharMagic, I like cover the little thing because I just hate the feeling of like, even if it's a little bit, I hate the feeling of like the water like drying on me.
Yeah.
So no.
But if we're prepared for it, like, cool. I'm going to say this. And this is actually, I know, a question that's on Instagram too that we're going to get into later on. So I'm not going to fully dive into the dry path or wet path yet. We'll get into that later. But as far as opening weekend goes, a lot of times things will happen with effects, and sometimes they need to, tune it down or turn it up. So we're just going to kind of wait and go down the dry path and see really how bad is the wet path. We'll see that. I know some things. I've seen some things. Yeah, we'll just
see how
we'll see how it goes.
People are coming out, what they look like.
Yeah, because again, what I'm worried about it. Let's say like you get completely soaked. Let's just say that if you go down this path and you get completely soaked, you're gonna go through Halloween Horror Nights the rest of the night like completely soaked. Like I've done that before. I'm pretty sure a lot of you in the chat has done that before. How many here has gotten completely soaked from torrential downpours that we've had for Halloween Horror Nights, especially waiting and staying screen for houses?
Yeah.
We've had multiple opening nights like that, and really going through the rest of the event, it's just like, it is a battle.
I was gonna bring up Caleb's comment. He said, if I get stuck in the Florida rain, I'll do the wet path. Otherwise, I'll do the dry one.
I agree.
Which I agree with. That's the only time I ever do water rides like River Adventure or any of those types of rides is when it's already raining and either I have a poncho or I'm already like soaking wet. So if that is the case, then yes, I will do the wet path. If it's like raining outside and either we're prepared for it or I'm already like soaking wet.
Okay. Question actually for you guys. We're gonna reverse the question towards y'all. What are you guys picking first when you go through Terrifier? Are you gonna go through the wet path or the dry path? What are you guys looking forward to with experiencing this house first? I'm not talking about like, on week 3 or my second night, then I'll decide to go through this. I'm talking like the first time you go through Terrifier and you are met with that decision of going through the wet path or the dry path. Which one are you choosing? I know we're doing the dry path. That'll be our first one that we choose. And again, I will say this too. Maybe that changes because we're not going to be able to attend opening night this year, but we're going to be there for Sunday. So maybe we'll hear how it is over those 2 opening days.
Everybody's saying wet path first.
Wow, y'all are crazy.
More power to you. Not me.
You guys are crazy. But you know what? I'm going to say this. I'm going to be honest. As a lot of people keep saying wet, this is what I'm going to say. I'm very skeptic on the wet path. But if more of you guys are saying this, like wet path, I'm actually really excited that's the case because I really wanted it to be successful. I want this to work. I want it to be successful. I want the team to say, we're going to do this crazy idea of making this path like all this water effects, right? Which is blood, yada, yada. And for fans to be like, yes, we want to experience that. They go and experience it and there's no complaints afterwards. People are like, that was so much fun. We love it. Cool. Because then that allows them to do this stuff down the road for future houses versus people going down this path and being like, this was a terrible idea. Let's not do it again. And they may more than likely will never do it again. So if this works out, more than likely it opens up opportunity for maybe even new experiences to come back. Yeah. Like Tweaks and Foons. You guys remember that?
Treeks and Foons.
Tweaks and Foons, however you say it. Like having like that where we just have a whole scare zone full of bubbles and things of that nature. Like how crazy can they go? How can we go back into time? So that'd be cool. That just reminded me do you know what I'm talking about, right?
No.
What we're gonna do right here is go back.
Oh yeah.
Way back into time.
Okay.
That was crazy. I just had a moment.
Yeah.
So anyways,
a lot of people are saying wet because it's that's how it's meant to be. That's the full experience. I do agree with that. I think we have such a different perspective as frequent Fear Pass people and locals because we do get to go so many times. I think if we had one night and we could only do it one time or maybe 1 or 2 times,
we'll definitely go to the wet path.
Then we would do the wet one for sure. But I think because we can go every night, I think I'm fine with doing the dry one first, kind of feeling it out, seeing how people are feeling about it, and then doing the wet one.
And it'll probably be the last house we go to.
Yeah.
Later in the night, just kind of wrapping it up.
Yeah.
So, however, I will say this. Jeff Martin said dry, and that's the only comment I care about right now. So, Jeff, yes. Got you, Jeff.
Yeah.
Sweet. Okay, that was cool. That was a good question. All right, I'm going to go through Instagram for our next question. By the way, are you putting comments, questions into that? You keep going through and you're putting more?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, cool. Because I see some every now and then. I want to make sure we get to them. But if you're putting them down, then
I will also say with the whole wet path thing, I just really hope that they don't do any sort of colored water. Because that could get really, really bad.
I did not think of that.
I have a lot of clothes that are white.
Okay, to be honest though, I'd say about 80% of people who attend Horror Nights usually wear black.
True.
So it should slide. So I would say this: if you plan to go
red lights,
to Halloween Horror Nights,
probably what it'll be.
If you're going to Halloween Horror Nights, ladies, this is mainly towards you, right? Gentlemen, also listen. Go to Halloween Horror Nights, wear dark clothing. If you're gonna go through the Terrifier house and do the wet path,
or wear whatever you want.
Yeah, wear whatever you want. I'm not telling you have to do this. I recommend if you're gonna do the wet path and Terrifier, wear black or dark clothes.
We just had this conversation because I posted a TikTok of like some of my outfits for HHN.
Oh my gosh.
And
yeah,
somebody
yeah.
commented on it saying like, do not wear these shoes. Cause I guess my shoes didn't look comfortable, which I've worn them to HHN before. So they're fine for me. But
Yeah.
we had this conversation where I'm like, I mean, if they work for me or they work for other people, then fine. So if you want to wear something white and go through Terrifier and then have your
You have the freedom to do whatever you like, people.
do whatever you want.
You have the freedom to do whatever you like.
Yeah, it'll be red lights like under the water effect. That makes sense.
We'll see.
Cool. Next question.
I want to bring this up real quick. We have somebody that's very special to us, by the way, in the Fry Club and to this channel. Chris Dustings, by the way, guys. Can we get some dubs for Chris Dustings in the chat? My man is battling life right now, but dude has always got, I guess, just the biggest smile. If he smiles, I really don't know. But Chris Dustings, member for 36 months.
I think it's a sarcastic smile.
Yeah, he never smiles, to be honest, unless he gets it his way. So anyways, Chris Dustings, he said 3 years. That's 4 too many.
Agreed.
Get it? Anyways, whatever. There you go, Chris. That's your moment to shine. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll send you the bill later.
Nice.
But let's get to that Instagram question that I have right here. So this is from HHN Orlando Epic, and it's Orlando as in ORL_Epic. Do you think there will be multiple Art the Clowns roaming the park or just one?
I think it'll be multiple, but not like at the same time like they did with the Megans. I don't think it's going to be like a horde of Art
They're
the
very
Clowns.
separate.
Yeah.
So you can't obviously see 2 in 1.
Yeah. No double exposure.
That's the term. Yeah. No double exposure. But to that question, do you think they'll have multiple out?
Maybe.
Just in different areas.
See, like I could see it either way. I could
Maybe. Will you wear wigs? When will you wear wigs?
I could see them doing it either way. I could see like them having multiple just to like hit different locations. But it could also be like with Jack where it was like really just one that kind of like floated around the whole event.
Yeah, that would be my answer. I genuinely think it is easier from an operation standpoint to just have one because you don't have to worry about double exposure at all. And I feel like, and this is what I'm going to say about the Jack, like this actually relates to the Jack experience. So I had information about Art the Clown roaming around Halloween Horror Nights for some time. And I'm actually really excited that that has been public for you guys. That's been announced. You guys, I'm assuming you guys are excited for it. And I think it's a good thing, right? But the closest thing we can kind of relate this to and go off of is Jack the Clown. Hondo's little pillow like tipped over, and he cannot get comfortable. Hold up, guys, hold up. I'm gonna go help him.
No, he got it.
You got it. You good? Okay.
He's good.
His little pillow tipped down, and he's just like, I can't move.
He's like,
But yeah, so the thing that we can relate this to and just talk about is back in HHN 30, 2021, we had Jack the Clown roaming around the park. And it was only one Jack that was out ever at a time. So whether he was in a sound or a sound stage, he was roaming the sound stages like in the queue lines, or if he was in the scare zone, especially the lights, camera, action Eddie scare zone. That is kind of the closest thing we can relate it to. And I feel like what was so special about that is like, yeah, you really wanted to see Jack, but there wasn't a schedule. There wasn't like a routine path he used to take where you can catch him. And so like for those who really wanted to meet him, it sucked when you didn't get the chance. But when you did, it made it so special because you're like, in this moment, I got lucky that Jack is present right here randomly.
yeah. And I think that's the best way to do it with these big characters because you don't want people camping out, waiting for them to come out.
Yeah.
And I think the way they did it with Jack was perfect because they brought him around like the outside of the queue lines where like people can't like
They can't
rush in
go,
to like get photos or anything like that. It's
sometimes even driving by in a golf cart.
Like, I think that's perfect.
Yeah.
And
Which, by the way, there is a question that's coming up on Instagram we're going to get into that also kind of plays into this with the queue lines. And we'll talk about that too. So I just want to put that out there.
Okay. Well, we can move on.
No, I mean, yeah, that answers the question. I think it'll be one Art the Clown.
Yeah.
That's out. Question is, how many people are going to be acting like Art the Clown?
Yeah,
this year?
that's a different.
That's a whole conversation. All right, let's do a YouTube one. Pull up a YouTube question.
Okay.
You got this, Steph. Come on, Steph. What do you got?
Here's a really good one. I'm not skipping anybody else's that this was after, but it's a good question. I've been going to HHN for 6 years with single-use express. Is there a value in doing a second night and doing the houses again? I always thought doing it once you would see everything. I think there's always a value in doing the houses as many times as you possibly can, because it's going to be different every time. There have been so many times we have gone through houses and gotten no scares. It's just bad timing.
Yep.
And then we go through the same house like later that night, a different night, and we get every single scare and it's amazing. So
Yeah.
I think
I
that
cannot get comfortable.
I
in
know,
this.
me neither.
The seat like lost its cushion. So I'm just like sinking in it. Anyways,
So,
go ahead.
I think that, and there's so much to look at in those houses. There's so many like strobe effects. It's dark. You do not see everything on the first,
Yeah.
the first like go through. So if you can do it multiple times, great. If you can only do one night, having express is the way to do it for sure. But if you can do like a night with express and then a night without, that's what we, or 2 nights with express. That's what
Yeah.
we did in Hollywood, was one with, one without.
Mm-hmm.
And we were able to hit up the houses that we wanted to do again, either if we didn't get like a good run through or we just really liked them and wanted to do them again.
Yeah. I'd love to answer that question and like really talk for 40 minutes, to be honest, about it. But I'll keep it as like shortened as I can and just kind of elaborate on what Steph said. You know, you can go to like Universal Studios Florida. You can go for one day and have express, and you can do the rides, you can do the shows, some of the shows, right? But you can do the rides mainly, like the attractions, and you can see everything in that one usage. Like you go ride Mummy, you know, like you're mainly going to get everything in that one ride. You ride it again, yeah, maybe you see something new, but the experience, the feeling is going to be the same. Haunted houses, they're also considered attractions, but they're living attractions. They're not stagnant like the other attractions that are always there. They're living attractions because they're based on the scare actors. And like Steph pointed, which was a great point, by the way, but what you pointed out is the fact that you can go through, let's say Terrifier, right? We've been talking about that recently. You can go through Terrifier and miss most of the scares because sometimes they have cast changes. You can miss most of the scares, get through the whole night and be like, man, this event wasn't really much because I wanted to see Terrifier. I was so excited for it. I didn't get much of the scares. So I just didn't really enjoy it. It just bummed me. It was disappointing. So having the opportunity to go back again and maybe redeeming it will change your whole outlook on the event itself and for the house.
Yeah, the opening night last year, probably our like bottom house of the entire night was, or no, last year? No, 2 years ago. Our bottom house of the entire night was why is my
I don't know. I'd love for you to say it because I can't even remember what you're trying to talk about.
my brain is blanking. The blues.
Darkest Deal.
Yes. That was like our least favorite house.
Was it really our least favorite?
Yeah.
I think it was our least anticipated.
No, it was our least favorite. We came out of that and we were like, that sucked. Because
Really?
we missed everything. We missed every scare.
Oh, yeah.
And-
well, the Oddfellow one, too, was...
But yes.
Yeah.
But by the end of
Yeah.
that year,
That was like our number one.
favorite house.
Yeah, that
So
one and Monsters were constantly back and forth.
it really like depends on the run-throughs that you get, and like that first one just might not be it.
Yeah.
And then you do it again and it's great.
And I just want to put this out there, too, real quick with that question. Going again, there is so much details in these houses that I guarantee you, if you go through one time, it is almost impossible to see all of the detail, to see everything, because sometimes some scares rely on timing, and sometimes you have to be there for like 10 seconds to see certain scenes happen, and sometimes you will walk through and only get to see about 4 to 5 seconds of it. So going through a second time, maybe you get that extra bit that you need to see. And just to put this out there too, being a local and having a Frequent Fear Plus with Express, when we go through the houses, we go through so many times throughout the run, we then tend to find something that really sticks with us every single year. That's just like iconic to personally Steph and I, not just the event, not just to every other fan, but to us. Like one we constantly talk about. We always bring up, like, I'd say once every month would be Wicked Growth from HHN 30. We'd always talk about the sister witch when she's like, yes, I'm the pretty one. Like, we'll always like make these comments and stuff like that because the more and more we've gone, we've interacted with that specific scare. And it just becomes more special for us the more you go through it. So I would always recommend, if you can afford it, if you can take it out, you know, put the extra money down and go more nights. Even if you don't use Express, if you don't get Express, the more nights you have, the more chance you have to do more things. So that's a great question, though.
Yeah.
6 years, huh?
Yep.
Look at that. It's crazy to think I've been going since 2014. That was over a decade ago. That, my mind, geez, time is flying so fast. I can't even say it. That's how fast it went by.
So
So fast. So yeah, anyways. Also, I feel like we need to look at the chat a little bit.
I am.
Oh, okay. Chat, how you guys doing? So we got over 105 people here right now. How you guys doing? Thanks for being, by the way, shout out to you guys. Thanks so much for being here tonight. We were really excited for this live stream just because we're going to like lay back and just chat with you guys and answer questions. I got a whole bunch of questions to get through. So it's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. I hope you guys are having fun. I hope you guys are excited for HHN starting literally next week. It's like Halloween season. I just like got my like energy up a little bit. Yes. Yeah. I love summer, don't get me wrong. But being in Central Florida and working outside constantly, it is so hot. I'm ready for cold weather. I'm ready for Halloween. I'm ready for Halloween music, which, by the way, Halloween decorations have been up for months. Halloween music's always being played. But I'm ready for the world to catch up. I'm ready for our people to catch up. Halloween music, Halloween decorations, fall-themed food, football. Football's going to be back in season. You know, like, I'm ready for that. Like, and then Christmas around the corner. Like, oh, the Burr months, September, October, November, and December. The best streak of months that you can get. Those 4 months right there. Oh, golly. We're blessed. That's amazing. Anyways, okay. That's my little rant. We're going to go to Instagram here for the next question from Kristen May 3 said, what house are you planning to do first this year? Kristen, that's actually a great question because Steph and I, we don't really get time to talk.
No, truly no idea.
I didn't get to finish that sentence. We do get time to talk, but we don't get time to talk about our like night experience, like what we're doing.
Yeah, we live literally day to day. So it's like, what do we need to do today? Okay.
There's a lot of times
what
I
do we
wake
need
up.
to do today? Okay.
There's a lot of times I wake up and I'm like, okay, I'm alive. What are we going to do? Here's this day.
We haven't done a ton of planning as far as our opening night experience goes. However,
and to add to that, and the reason why is because we have Express with our frequent fair pass. So we're not like so much in a rush that we have to do these.
Yeah.
We'll be fine.
And we also we're flying back in Sunday morning. We get in around 1 p.m. So it's we don't know if we're gonna make it for Stay and Scream or if we're gonna have to wait till the park opens. So
and it depends on the traveling, if there's any delays, cancellations.
But
we're not trying to get our hopes up. But if we had to choose,
I also am interested to see how these queue lines are working.
We'll talk about that later too. Yeah.
Okay. Then
no, you can bring it up. Yeah, I'm saying we'll get more into it later.
We've seen that there might be some different, with Rip Ride Rocket construction, there might be some different queue lines that will change our plans on what we want to do first. Because we're not big fans of getting into a queue line at the start of Stay and Scream and then just sitting in a queue line until the house is open. We like to just roam around, get something to eat, sit inside somewhere, and then once everything opens up, then we get in line. So that will also depend how they do Stay and Scream this year, since it's going to be so different. So we'll be able to see how that goes and then decide.
I read
You were
something.
reading.
No. I heard what you were saying. I agree. But I read something that just like it took me out of everything.
Okay.
What was the question we were answering? Oh yeah, what's the first house?
First house.
What do you got? If you had to pick one, what is the one that you want to experience first? Okay, I'm remembering. I'm back. I'm here.
I truly have no idea.
In all honesty, right? I genuinely would like to do El Artista again, or for the first time, right? I'd like to do El Artista, mainly because like the event's theme is also centered around what kind of the thematic like atmosphere of El Artista is, with a conservatory, Gothic architecture, that stuff. So I want to see the event, feel the vibes of it, go into it, see the front scare zone, right? Origins of Horror, feel that, and then get into El Artista and have that same vibe carry into a house. And then to feel how that is from start to finish, if you will, from the beginning of the park going through this house. I want to feel that same vibe throughout without changing it by going through like Fallout and breaking that.
Yeah.
So I would like to have that immersion by going through El Artista first and getting the full, this is kind of the theme they were going for, and then just hitting the event. I feel like that's why I would
In the
want to do.
daylight. Perfect time to do it.
Yeah. We're not getting there until 12:30 a.m., folks. That's when we get to Horror Nights.
Brian
Yeah,
is
say El
the
Artista.
type to be like, I want the vibe to be like exactly like this, so we're going to wait until 8 p.m. to go in. He's so that person. He
When I
made
took
me
Steph
wait.
When I took Steph to
You're going to tell the same
Disneyland,
story.
when I took Steph to Disneyland, I wanted her to see the Haunted Mansion, and it was this was obviously September, October, right? When we went to
It's
Hollywood.
the Nightmare Before Christmas overlay.
Surprise.
He made
I
me
wa-
wait until it was dark to even go on that side of the park.
Not dark, but the sun was setting. So we didn't even traverse to that side of Disneyland so that it wasn't even visible for her to see the Haunted Mansion until later in the afternoon when the sun was setting. We did go to Pirates a little bit earlier because I know I was like, all right, we kind of did
I
everything
was
over here.
like
We can go
this.
over here. Yeah, I was like, don't look. But by the time we did see Haunted Mansion for the first time, the sun was setting, the candle lights were on. It was perfect. It was perfect. It was worth it. But yeah, I do tend to perfect things a little too much.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's just me.
It's not a bad thing.
For both of us, I will agree. Yeah, sometimes it is. Sometimes it's a little too much, and I get tired of myself. Okay, can I ask a question for the chat?
Yes.
I have a question for you guys. This was the comment that kind of threw me off because then it just had my mind going. Somebody said, "Necesita tu sangre en chupacabra." That was John Menendez. That was into obviously what we were talking about with the one from
triggers.
Wicked Growth, right? The trigger, right? What is y'all? Like, this is for you guys. This is a question for the chat. Put it in the chat. I want to know. What is y'all's most favorite, iconic, whatever you want to title it, like, trigger
Sound. It's like
sound?
a quote from
Like,
the house.
yeah, it doesn't even have to be a quote sound, but like a scare. Like, what has the most iconic line that you know of? You know, like the caretaker when he's like, "This man has no heart." Ha ha ha. Ha. Like,
Trigger.
like that, right? You know, what is like the most iconic one for you that just stays with you? Because we have a couple. There's a couple we've over the years. It's usually every year one house will have one that will never. I mean, like for instance, Insidious. Look at Hondo trying to get the. Let me help Hondo. But Insidious is like he's got your baby. You know.
His little face. He looks so sad.
Here, chat with the chat. I'm gonna go help the big guy.
It's like, Father, help me. Yeah, destroy the evidence from. My brain is not working, you guys. Major Sweets.
You gotta do it though.
No.
To be honest, I just want to put this out there. If we were able to do our channel like normal last year and the plans that we had for our Countdown to HHN season, which was going to be so big and it was going to be so fun for you guys, I'm so bummed with what happened. But if we were able to do it, move forward with our original plans, we were going to have during our live streams, we were going to do the HHN sound game. And Steph and I were going to just impersonate, do our best impression. I guess that's the best way to say it. We were going to do our best impressions of like iconic scares and lines So like for instance, destroy the evidence. Like we were going to go head to head and try to say who could do it the best, and you guys would vote live. That was something we were going to do. So
that'd be fun. I think Big Cheese wins my favorite one though. From Ghostbusters 2019. We came, we saw,
we kicked its ass.
I like
and it sometimes would high five.
Oh,
remember that?
Yeah.
You did that.
I like that
cool.
one. And then from Ghostbusters as well, I'm the Keymaster.
The Ghostbusters had a couple of good ones.
Yeah.
Good ones. The body and the blood. Yeah, favorite or the one that's stuck in your head? Yeah, I mean, both, right? Let's see. Destroy the evidence. That's funny. He's got your baby.
I still think my favorite one is from Slaughter Cinema, the first Slaughter Cinema. The I carve you.
Yeah.
Daddy.
Justin Sage said, "Welcome to Oddfellows." Yeah, I can hear him saying, "Welcome to Oddfellows."
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, where is it? It was a little higher up. Heart Life. Elizabeth said, "Devour them." Devour. That lives in my head. I can hear. So 2019, when I did Dracula and Classic Monsters, the trigger was Ult AM, Devour them, and I can hear Dracula in the other room talking. Right. That was like my trigger, and I had a bride that was with me in this room, and I know exactly the timing when I would say that. I'd go devour them and then come down on the guest. And as I would step, Haley, by the way, shout out to you if you're ever out there. I don't know, whatever you're doing. But she played this so perfectly. Our timing together was one of the best I've ever had. And she would hit her trigger at the same time I was hitting my foot on the ground, coming down on the guest from the stage that I was on. And the sound of her trigger was like boarded door, like busting
just
through.
Like wood.
Yeah,
breaking.
like crackling through. She busted through. So it sounded like I was crashing down on the guest as she was coming from behind them, around them, and she would scream behind them, the ah, and these people would drop down, look behind, see her run through. There's a lot of great moments in that house in our scares. I miss that. So I would say that's the most iconic one because I had to hit it 4,372 times, like every night.
Yeah.
So
Mine was just.
But you would like sprint, go.
Not really like that.
No, she would. I've seen Stephanie do her scares like from backstage, and like she was like, there was a time I had to come tell her something real quick, so I went backstage to grab her. She sprinted out, and I was like, oh, okay. I was like, okay, you go.
It's the only way I could get through it.
Do your thing. Do your thing. Who else we got? What other ones were there? I'm the pretty one.
That was my cardio.
It was all of our cardio. With how much Reese's I had, I was amazed I was skinny then.
Because it was all you ate. It was just Reese's.
That's really all I had. You guys, it was actually really bad. I was so unhealthy.
Being a scare actor is crazy because like you at least for me and most people I know that scare acted, like you wake up so late because you are working and you don't get home until like 3 or 4 a.m.
Unless you work at 6 a.m.
Well, you're different. You wake up so late. I would wake up at like 1 o'clock and then literally like go to the gym, eat one meal, and then go to work. And then like there I would have, I mean, you barely have time to like eat anything. Like at least I didn't. I always just brought like a protein bar or something like that. So like,
Yeah.
And you're doing so much activity as a scare actor, unless you're someone who like sits, I guess, or like a puppeteer who's
Hey,
like
I'll
sitting.
give credit to our puppeteers. They put work in.
Yeah, but like
Yeah.
if you're not on your feet, if you're sitting for your scare, then I guess it's different. But for me, like I was so active. You just like that's your whole life is like you get home at 3 a.m., go to sleep, wake up, go back to HHN and just like do it all over again. It's very weird. What? Are you good?
I just thought of a sound, but I don't know where it's from. This is my room. Where's that from? Sorry, I know that's like it just like popped in my head. This is my room.
It's a witch, but I don't remember. Scary Tales?
Yeah, I think Scary Tales actually.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Tyler
Nice, that was good.
said he's scare acting and being a full-time student. Good luck. I did actually I got my NASM like personal training certificate when I was scare acting, and I just would bring my like note cards and stuff to work with me. And when you get your little like 30-minute break in between your sets, I would like study. So you can do that. How many nights?
It depends on what your role is. Like if you're hard casted, every night. That's how we were. We were every single night.
Yeah, typically they like if you're hard cast, they will say like you work every night of the event.
You're mine.
It's not like, oh, you do like Sundays and Wednesdays. It's
every night.
They need you every night.
Which, to be honest, I prefer it that way because like get in the character, own it, but only when you're working. Don't be those people who are the character outside of the event. Like, just
unless you want to be, who cares?
I care. I think I realized, by the way, I've only done 3 questions on Instagram. We're already about to be an hour in the live stream, and I know you have many more. So let's get into the YouTube chat. Let's do more of those questions that you have in that document.
Okay.
And then we'll get into the Instagram ones too. We'll keep it rolling.
What do we think of the hotel setups this year?
I'm sorry, read that again.
What do we think of the hotel setups this year?
I think the hotels have not moved at all. I think they're in the same place they were for the past few years. So, yeah, cool. I would appreciate if, like...
They did put some stuff up in Cabana Bay?
Like the lobbies.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I'm going to say this. I have not seen anything that's gone up in the hotels. But I know, like, what's going to happen, what's going on. I like the fact that they're putting decor. They're trying to, you know, theme the lobbies and the bars and things of that nature because... one thing I've always complained about for theme parks, always complained about this when it came to the holidays, especially Halloween. Christmas is a little more, but Halloween, they would rarely decorate anything except for the areas that they were like, we have a hard ticket event that's going on here, so we're going to decorate this. But like, I feel like, and we've talked about this so many times before, even Universal Studios Florida, even Islands of Adventure, in my opinion, why don't we put some Halloween decor up? Why don't we celebrate the actual holiday, you know? And that goes into the hotels, like theme it. Why not? People who've traveled down, who are going to stay at, let's say Cabana Bay, right? We'll just use Cabana Bay. They're going to come down and go to Cabana Bay or Sapphire Falls or wherever they go for Universal. And it's like October. They're coming to Halloween Horror Nights, right? How cool is it when they come down and it's October the 13th and they check in at their hotel and everything's got pumpkins, it's themed. Maybe even the rooms have like an overlay on the doors and stuff like that to just like get you in like, oh, this is cool because it's the season.
And it doesn't have to be like scary HHN because there are families going for daytime. It could just be like Halloween. Yeah,
just the holiday stuff. Pumpkins, bats, ghosts, skeletons.
Yeah, or just
but not
like
scary
fall,
ones.
Yeah.
I'm over here like, yeah, skeletons.
Art
the Clown.
everywhere.
In the family room. Yeah. So cool. Yeah. All right, next question.
Yeah. Have I missed it? Have they still yet to announce the food and drinks for this year? No, you have not missed it.
And everybody else.
They have not announced the food and drinks for this year.
We're still waiting.
I think every other post in like the HHN Facebook groups right now is, when is the food going to be announced? When is the food going to be announced? And I get it. I want to know what the food is really badly as well.
Yeah. I'm going to be honest. I know like the houses and the scare zones are, you know, a big deal, but like food has become such an iconic thing at Horror Nights that like even food announcements are things that people are like, okay, we got the houses, we got the scares, sweet. Where's the food? And then the park's like, wait, what? Oh, yeah. We'll come out. What do you guys want to know? Like, we want to know, where's the food? I want to know the food.
Yeah.
That's what I care about. I like the houses. I like the scare zones, but I have to eat. I don't have to go through houses, but I have to eat. I want to know what the foods are. So yeah, I mean, food's a big deal. And I feel like we're in the window. They should be announcing it at some point, maybe this week. I don't see them holding off until next week. I feel like this week has to be the week because literally Tuesday is team member preview. They're going to have the food booths open. Yeah,
I think like Justin said, they'll just put the point of sale, like the boards with the menus up and just be like, there you go.
All right, content creators, get out there, do your thing.
I love when they post those like really stylized photos of all the food on like they do it on Instagram and Twitter and stuff. Like I love those because I'm a very visual person. Like I can read a description of a food and I'll be like, that doesn't really sound good.
You need to
and
see
then I
it.
see a picture of it and I'm like, that looks great.
Yeah, you
So,
need to see it. I agree. Like
need
post
to see,
all
like,
photos
pictures.
of each food item. I want to see all the food items possible.
Yes.
Because here's the thing too, with the day and age of social media that we're in, they'll post like 10 food items and it's the 10 that they want to promote, what they think is going to do well, what's Instagrammable. But then there are times when I go to the event, there's a food booth I go up to and I read a food item and I'm like, what is that? Because I'm only knowing and thinking and
Of
looking
those
forward to the
10.
ones that were actually visually shown. I wish they would just show all of them. You get to see every single one because there's so many times I've gone and I'm just like, what does that look like though? I want to see what it looks like.
Yeah.
You know, and of course, like just go up to the food booth. You'll see it. They'll have it there. You'll see
Yeah,
people walking with it. But I want it in advance because I'm like, there are times where I was like, I would have gotten that if I saw it before the one that I had just now.
Yeah. That's how they get you.
Gotcha.
Because then you're like, oh, I should have got that. Oh, I guess I'll just have to get that again.
Right back in the food line. Oh, I should have got both of them at the same time. Dude, if there was one food booth that done that, like would have done that to me, it was the Hunting of Hill House.
Justin, I saw
Briskets.
that comment before you deleted it.
What was the comment?
I'm not going to say it.
Text it to me. I'm going to ban them right here in the live.
No,
I've
no,
never
no.
banned anybody from the live. I'm going to do it now.
It's not mean. I'll tell you later.
Well, if it's nice, then I'm definitely banning it.
Do you think we'll see the medallion and house banners by the end of this week?
Yes.
Cool. Yeah.
That's all I got to say. What day? What day if you have to pick?
Friday.
Friday.
I'm just picking a random day.
What if I said Saturday?
Sure.
Ooh, spooky. All right, let's do an Instagram question.
Okay.
All right, next one comes from Jessica and 15, which I feel like we should end on this one.
And the Instagram ones? Or you mean
No, like this question should be one of the last questions.
Well, then save it.
Okay, remind me to go back. Everybody, remind me of Jessica's question from Instagram. I have
Okay.
to go back to that, but that's one we should end on. Because again, this is one that I'll also flip towards you guys. I don't know how to say this. I'm just going to say it all in one. Loris3872. I hope that's right. But anyways, which house do you think will be the scariest? They think it will be Terrifier. That's their thoughts. But what house do we think will be the scariest? On the count of three, we're going to say it together at the same time. Count of three. Ready? You got yours?
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3. Jason.
Dolls.
What did you say?
Dolls. The dolls.
Oh, I thought you said talls.
No.
Talls. Digging up them holes. Yeah.
I have no idea.
Dolls, huh? Interesting.
I have no idea. I could see Jason. I like really dark, creepy houses. Like, I think those are the scariest for me, like Insidious last year. And, like, Dolls gives me that, like, vibe. Like, creepy, dark,
I agree.
grimy.
Dolls will be creepy. I think it'll be a little more colorful, though, potentially.
Oh, I hope not.
Well, just like in some of the usages of like patterns and designs,
Yeah.
there might be some colorful stuff. But another one too that I'm kind of between is Jason Universe. The team is saying this is like the Insidious house this year, right? So okay. Also, again,
Everybody thought I said dolls.
that's what I thought so too. I thought you said talls.
Dolls.
First, I thought you said Sauls. You know, like Laura Sauls. She's gonna be the scariest one. So I that's what I thought too. So I'm glad the chat's backing me up for once in my life. But honestly, it's Jason Universe or Grave of Flesh. I'm between
I
those
could see
two.
Grave of Flesh, too. That was my second one.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Grave of Flesh has the ability to be that like very original, organic haunted house at Halloween Horror Nights, and really just have good scares and really focus on that.
Everybody heard
Yeah.
me say something different, but Jason is tall, so maybe that's what I meant.
Everybody, put in the chat what you thought Steph said.
Talls, fall. Guess I gotta pronunciate a little bit better.
You do better than I do.
That is true.
Anyways,
Kidding.
scariest house, in my opinion, Jason or Grave of Flesh. Steph said dolls or talls or Sauls.
Who knows?
One of those. All right. Next question. You do a YouTube one. We'll do YouTube on this one.
Mark Anthony asked, what house would you want to be scare actors in from this year's lineup? Talls. I think
That's something you and I are both not.
I think I know. I think I would want to be in Gulkin.
Man, I was thinking Gulkin too. I feel like Gulkin would be fun.
Or El Artista.
See, so El Artista is my pick. But Gulkin sounds fun too.
I would not want to be in Terrifier or Five Nights or Fallout because they are going to be extended till 3 a.m. every night.
I don't mind that. Those are fun.
I don't like that.
I don't know if I could say this actually in the live. There's times I remember my first year scare acting in American Horror Story back in 2017. And there's nights we had to extend. And it was to the point where we were like, there was not so many people left. And they were just like, just do what you got to do, but fill these rooms. And so it was like me and one other scare actor that had to fill 3 scenes up. So I had 9 boo holes I was working with. That was a lot of fun. So like sometimes extending is kind of fun. It was fun, especially like when you had repeat like locals that would go through a scene that's their favorite house, and I jumped out and they're like, wait, what are you doing in this scene? And then I jump out in another scene, they're like, oh my god, how many are here? And they're like, wait, this is the same one? So it was a lot of fun. Anyways, I don't know if I should say that loud because that's IP stuff, but anyways, I really feel like El Artista would be my pick because again, the vibes of it, I think it'd just be fun. It's in a soundstage. I miss scare acting in a soundstage. And
I would want to be in whatever house is the scariest because
we want to scare people.
That's the best part of scare acting is getting scared.
It's in the name.
Like
scare actor. Yeah.
Like you could be the most iconic character, but if your scare is like you're not getting anybody, it's not as fun. I would much rather be a like throwaway like character that doesn't have a name that gets like a lot of really good scares than Art the Clown, but I'm just standing in one spot and
more of a show scene. Yeah.
Or like on a platform and I can't do anything.
Yeah. My like being Dracula 2019, it was kind of setting up to be like a show scene, and I was like, no,
I don't want that.
This is not going to be a show scene. You wait until after opening weekend. This will change very drastically from a show scene to a scare. And sure enough, it did. And it worked perfectly because...
But there are some show scenes that you can't.
No, there are some that you can't, obviously. But I was able to work it with the team and actually get it to a point where, like I said, my partner, not my tag out, but my partner, Haley, we kind of timed ours together and made a scene that worked with what I was doing, what she was doing. It was great.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I'd say El Artista. But to be honest, Gulkin sounds like a lot of fun. Like, I feel like Gulkin would be fun.
Yeah.
Like, it would just be fun. Depends on the break space, too. Like, soundstage break spaces aren't really sounding fun right now. So.
Well, they might do it differently now.
Well, that's what I'm pertaining to. Like, this year's.
Yeah.
The year that I was in 2017, like, it was cool. Like, we were all just out there backstage.
That sounds awful.
Just chilling. We had a ping pong table. Like, we were playing ping pong tournaments and stuff like that.
I need to be in air conditioning.
I mean, we were, to be honest, though,
maintenance.
you know how
sweaty?
sweaty, remember how sweaty I came off set? Like, obviously, I had all that gear. But then when I got off set, like, I was drenched. And going into the AC just felt the worst. Because then having to put that gear back on wet and cold was terrible.
That is true. That's why you don't take it off.
I mean, I had to take those gloves off.
That is true.
I had to take my mask off. I had to take my cape off, you know? Like,
I have to take the cape off.
It was heavy. And it was also, like, in very bad condition. I tore that up so bad.
Yeah.
We should do a live stream where we just, like, chat about our scare acting experience. That'd be a lot of fun.
We should. That would be fun.
You know, since it's our last year doing it, just be like, here's everything you need to know. All right.
You want to be a scare actor.
If you want to be a scare actor, this is what you need. Also, somebody said, where's my gold? Harold. Yes, that's another iconic one. Didn't get to do that house, but I watched Tim Tracker's HHN stuff plenty of times to know that.
I only hear Tim when I hear that trigger.
I don't want to hear the trigger. I only hear Tim, just like you said.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's it. It's just I project
It's just
Tim actually doing that scare. That he came in and voiced over, and that was his voice. All right. Okay. What you got? Next question. Let's get to the next one.
Non HHN related. What are your top 3 horror movies?
Good question. Top 3 horror movies.
Oh, look at my letterbox.
Yeah, you know, it's hard. I got to put the classic monsters Dracula. I got to put that up there. Obviously, personal reasons, right? I got to put that up there. But for some reason, I keep thinking back to Poltergeist. I remember the first time watching Poltergeist was so cool. And it was just a lot of fun. Like, I enjoyed that. And another one, too, I'm going to bring out, you know, here's some classics for you guys, right? Like, for instance, like, we saw some recent ones that are fun. You know, I'm just going to throw out there, like, Weapons. We enjoyed Weapons. We also enjoyed Nope. That was a lot of fun. There's a couple ones that we saw recently that we really liked. But my mind always goes back to some classic ones. And John Carpenter's The Thing is also a very enjoyable one that I really loved. Really loved The Thing. Even Halloween, the original Halloween, I really loved too. Halloween 2018 also is one that I actually really enjoyed too, because that was the year I was performing as Michael Myers. So like, I guess it depends for me, right? But like Poltergeist always constantly comes to my mind for some reason. The Thing, that's one of them. It's really hard to say what's the top 3, you know?
Mine, according to Letterboxd, are The Thing. 2013's Evil Dead and Hereditary.
Oh my God, I forgot about Evil Dead and Hereditary. You know what's so funny? You guys, some OG members here, you guys remember Steph and I with Hereditary? And like, I actually went to IMAX to watch Hereditary this past year. And that was a fun experience. Hereditary was good in a dark way.
I wish I hadn't spoiled the whole movie for him, because he was like, I'll never watch that. So I spoiled the whole thing.
No,
I wish
I'm glad.
I hadn't.
No. I'm glad you did, because there's moments where I needed to be prepared for what happened.
I guess.
No, I needed it. I needed that. Even when it happened, there was moments I was like, okay, there's strangers sitting next to me. Just act like this is normal. That was a fun day, that whole day.
Yeah.
That day, I actually got to talk with Charles Gray about A Quiet Place for last year's event. Yeah. And then we rushed to the IMAX theater to watch Hereditary. That was a cool day. But you mentioned something. You said Evil Dead. Evil Dead was fun too. I like the original Evil Dead. I thought they were funny. But what was it? Evil Dead, the one when he went back in time.
Oh, that's my least favorite Evil Dead.
Army of Darkness, right? Yeah, I loved
least
that.
Favorite Evil Dead.
That was such a like dark fantasy type of movie. I thought it was just so funny. Again, this was a time period when I was learning to get into the horror movie genre, and so like horror movies wasn't really like my thing. But like Evil Dead, Army of Darkness was just so cool, you know, like I was just like, this is funny, this is great. Not really the best horror movie, but how many Evil Dead Army of Darkness fans do we have in the chat? Do we have any out there? I need to know, because
least favorite Evil Dead.
I enjoyed it. But then the 2013 Evil Dead was really good, really scary. Even the recent one they had, I thought had some really good moments. But there were some things, Rise,
Yeah.
There were some, I liked how they took some iconic moments and gave it a twist. And still, I felt like it was delivered. So.
People are seeming to like Army of
Yes.
Darkness. It is definitely a like personal preference thing. It's so funny. Like, if you ask Evil Dead fans, like their ranking of all the Evil Dead movies, it is so like all over the place.
Yeah.
There's not like one consensus.
Let's see. Also, somebody said Fright Night. It's a solid 80s vampire flick. That's on the list. I've heard about it.
I love that movie.
I want to watch that.
That movie did terrify me and traumatize me when I was a little kid, but I love that movie.
I love how you see these things as a kid.
It's my dad.
You're so great. Shout out to Frank if you're out there.
Yeah,
See you soon.
I liked Evil Dead 2 better than Army of Darkness. I will say that we got to like the end with all the claymation, like stop motion stuff, and Brian was like, "What are we watching?"
That was in 2?
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember the claymation. Oh yeah, there's some moments in the Evil Dead franchise where I was like, what is going? We just took a turn, and I was like not
So I
locked
like
in.
the second one. It's so like campy.
Yeah, but like, I don't know, man. Army of Darkness was cool. Like, cause it's, I don't know. Chat. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Do you ever have the idea where you're like, what if I time traveled and I brought like this crazy technological thing to the past to see what people would be like? Like, that's what that movie was like. Somebody is like, yo, what if we brought like a car and this like shotgun to like a medieval fight? Like, how would that go out? That's just kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, you guys had that thought too, right?
Next question.
Not Steph, but you guys. All right. Let me ask a Instagram one.
Yeah.
So this comes from a guy named Nick Romes. What do you think is the best way to make the line queues more interactive and enjoyable? I love this question because it's something we have always talked about in our videos, in our live streams, year after year. Something we talk about with you guys all the time. That I feel like the one thing Halloween Horror Nights should really focus on is the queue lines. Hey, guess what? One of our big questions about this year is what's going to happen with the queue lines, right? Excuse me. Because I genuinely feel like everybody who goes to Horror Nights, you have to experience a queue line. You have to. If you're going to do a house, you're going to go through a queue line. And a lot of these queue lines and these houses, especially this year, are going to post some high wait times. And waiting in constant switchbacks is the most boring, out of touch experience, I guess you could say, with being in a themed event. Because when you're
like
sitting
it brings
there,
you out of the theme.
yeah, because you're just like, oh, I'm so tired. It's hot. That person stinks. Like, oh my gosh, here we go. These people are loud. The line's not moving. They're just letting express in. Like, all these questions, right? We've all been there. We've all had these moments. So how do we enhance it? I've always thought that on night one, opening night, we should have the projectors all up for each queue line that they can have. And on the projectors, we should have the interactive, like, trivia and games and polls and things of that nature. Yeah, go ahead. I'll carry this one then. We should do like interactive, like, trivia and games, and the people should be able to like vote, like, oh, what's your favorite Halloween Horror Nights icon of all time? And they should have like 4 of them that they put up: Jack, Fear, Oddfellow, and Caretaker, whatever, right? Let's just say those 4. And you can see all the people that are attending Halloween Horror Nights that night. They can text their answer to a certain number, and that, you know, answer will show the percentages. And, you know, it was so cool because I remember attending in 2015 the Hollywood Studios. We used to have Star Wars nights there, and that was so fun having those moments. So I feel like that would add to the waiting, the queue line experience. And then you get trivia, and I know like in Soarin' they also do this. When you're waiting in line, you can answer certain trivia questions and keep track of your score. And I know Universal's been doing this a lot with their Universal app. They have like a play app and stuff where you can like get points, track your score and all that, and compete head to head with other people. That'd be really cool to have something like that, especially for locals who go all the time. It's another thing for us to do, and anybody who's just there, you know, attending Horror Nights. If you're waiting in a 60-minute line and you're in standby, it's something to do. Which, it's funny because I'm also an advocate for not being on your phone as much. But I just feel like in this day and age, a lot of people are always going to be on their phone. So if that's the case, I want to at least give them an ability to have an experience that still keeps them within the theme itself. So that's one of the things I would say. Another thing too, the new Sprung tent area that we got from last year, being that hub location, they put this like shaded little overhang, which is perfect. Shade, more shade, as much shade as possible is great. AC, would it be even better? I know they're working on things like that, but that does help the experience. And I'd also say more opportunities in the line to purchase food and beverage. So just like little quick snacks, chips, drinks of that nature. Have more stations like that set up at strategic points in the queue lines. They've done this before. They'll continue to do it. But having more of those also does help. Gives people the opportunity. And yeah, I mean, those are some of the ones I would say. There's more, but we'll just keep it at that. So I want to see, what do you guys have? Let's see. Yeah, some misters in the queue lines. See, here's the thing. Like, the misters are cool, but when it's like very humid out, the misters only just increase that humidity. So like if it's a dry, like hot night in September, October, then sure. But I feel like sometimes misters add to the humidity, especially like after a storm. Like, oof. Yeah, somebody said, great point. Those queues are such a wasted opportunity. 100% agree. There's a stage in the front part. Should have something going on. Yeah, Mr. Coconuts, I will say at the Music Plaza stage, like we said this before, like if they had the Five Nights at Freddy's, like how cool would it have been if the Music Plaza stage house entrance right there, I think that's where LRT is going. But if it was Five Nights at Freddy's right there, how cool would it be if they had the animatronics out on Music Plaza stage playing music and like doing their little movements and stuff like that, just adding to your queue line experience and the overall events theme of the fact you're going in line to experience Five Nights at Freddy's. Like, I hear the secrets that you keep when you're tucking in your sleep.
I think we even made a thumbnail like not last year, but maybe 2 years ago.
It wasn't a thumbnail, but it was a B-roll that you created for it. Yeah.
Where I like photoshopped the Five Nights characters onto that stage.
Yeah, things like that. And we always talked about too, how cool would it be if they had a live band performing right there for everyone? But that again would bring some logistic nightmares that we would have to talk about and discuss and see if we can get around it. Because people like me, they're like AC/DC's performing. I'm like, I'm not going through the house. I'm just going to watch AC/DC.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to get like a big name. You just want some sort of entertainment, but not anything that's like crazy enough that people are not going to keep it moving. But I do think that people will hold each other accountable enough to be like, hey, go ahead. Like, come on.
What I would have loved, and this is really like thinking outside of the box, right? I hope. Maybe you don't think it is. But what I would love is if Halloween Horror Nights had a show and it was hosted by, creatives and people within Halloween Horror Nights, and they were on the stage. You guys know how like this is very much for like football fans and sports fans. But you know how you get your the pregame show and the tailgating and all that kind of stuff. What if they had like a pregame show that's on the my words just didn't go out there. But if they had like a booth set up there on the stage where you have the host talking about Halloween Horror Nights, interacting with guests in the queue lines, doing the actual like trivia and reading out what's the poll and all that kind of stuff, and just having this interactive discussion and pre-game, but during the event itself, about the event. I feel like that could be really cool as well.
Yep.
Just my thoughts. Things like that. All right. Next question. What do you got there?
Do we think that they will lower the gore for the Terrifier house when people start getting sick from it? I think if after the first weekend, people are actually getting sick from it, I don't see that happening, at least not to a level that would be like concerning. But if that were to happen, I do think that they would adjust things because they have made adjustments to houses in the past. The first thing that comes to mind is, I don't know what it is with me and house names tonight. I can't think of any of them.
That's okay. What you need is a Reese's break.
Dead Exposure Patient Zero from 2018 was extremely dark, and the only light really was the strobes. Mm-hmm. So, and that's how it was like the first weekend or 2 weekends. People were running into walls, falling, things like that. So they changed it, and
opening weekend is always chaotic, and it's experimental for a lot of things. So that's why I always say, like, if you get a chance to go to an opening weekend, especially opening night, to experience the houses, more than likely they're going to change throughout the event, especially certain experiment type of houses.
Yeah.
But yeah, like for instance, with Terrifier, the wet path, they may be like, okay, this is a little too much. We maybe need to tone it down a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe even the poop smells that they said is going to be in the house, they might be like, okay, it's a little too much. We need to crank it down a little bit. Little things like that.
Yeah, they can always make changes, and they have.
Yeah, they have every year.
Even Monsters, the Legends Collide. People were like complaining that Dracula was not in it enough, so they
they had like only
more.
2 Draculas, and now it got up to like 6 at one point, I think, or even more. So yeah, definitely. Also, I just want to say this is Reese's break. Oh, I opened this a while ago and I forgot.
How do the actors deal with the smells? I truly have no idea.
Ooh, I can talk about that.
I've never been in a house, like, scare acted in a
can
house
talk.
with smells.
By the way, I can tell you the proper way to actually eat a Reese's cup one day. We'll do it in the next live stream, but
Yeah. I don't know though. I don't know how they like, because we've talked about in Hollywood the smells in some of the houses are so bad that like just going through the house, I got like nauseous or got a headache. I think if I was a scare actor in one of those rooms, like I don't think I would be able to do it.
That was so good.
You might get used to it maybe after like the first weekend. I don't know.
Can I say my part
Or
now?
you can like do those little things that they stick up their nose when you have a nosebleed.
Can I say my part?
Sure, I don't care.
So 2 things. 1, 99.9% of the time, me scare acting, I always smell myself because you're sweating so bad, especially when I've had masks on. I'm constantly just smelling myself. A lot of times when you have a mask, it is hard to get those scents too.
That's true.
It really
I've
does
never
cover
had
it.
a mask.
Yeah, lucky you. The mask has really helped in some ways and also really ruined some things. But when there was a time back in 2018 for Halloween 4, Return of Michael Myers, when they needed a Michael filled in the strobe light room, like the electrical room, and I was like, oh, that'll be cool. Like, I want to do it, right? Because I tried doing as many scenes as I can, and I went into that room, and I remember we had like 5 minutes before they opened the house for guests to come through, and I was standing there, and it was just like, just constantly going. I was like, holy smokes! And here's the hard thing about that area too. I was in a full, like, Michael Myers mask. Right? I have it over here. Actually, I have the mask over here. It's all white, so it was illuminating so much. And I remember being in there like, how do people do this? This is insane. I feel like I'm in a light bulb right now.
We were. Go ahead.
But after like 10 minutes, never noticed there was even strobing, because then I got into character and I used that to my scare. So it became routine where I didn't even notice it was strobing.
Yeah, I think with the smells,
It's very different.
You might get used to it. If you have a mask, like that definitely helps. But like I was just mentioning with Dead Exposure, Patient Zero, I remember that house had to be like backfilled a lot with like reserves or fire crew or swings, because so many people were dropping because they were getting such bad headaches from the strobes, from like just being in that environment all night. Like,
I mean, loud noise, constant flashing, screaming, constantly. I mean, being a scare actor is tough. Like, it really is. And I've always give props to every year for the scare actors doing what they do. We've done it. I've had seasons where I would go to work at 6 a.m., get off at 2 p.m., go to Halloween Horror Nights, clock in, get dressed up, start scaring. And I've even had years, like I said, American Horror Story, my first year, there was nights that we didn't get out till almost 3 o'clock. We just had some extended nights. And then by the time I used to live an hour away, I get home, I'm like, I need to turn around and go to work right now. So I just shower, quickly wash my face. There were nights I would get to work where my face was as clean as possible. I looked really bad, but under my clothes, I still had blood all over me. And I was like, if anybody were to see my sleeve roll up, they would have some serious questions. So there's a fun fact, by the way. There was a time, and maybe we'll talk about this in a future live. There's a time where I got home after 3:40 a.m. or whatever, still covered in blood, right? Like, I just like didn't have energy.
I'm surprised with it being an IP, they didn't make you take that off.
I wore a sweatshirt. And when I got in my car, I took the sweatshirt off. At home, there were cops outside of the apartment or whatever. And I walked out tired and full of blood, having to explain why I'm dressed the way I am to a cop at almost 4 a.m. That was really bad.
Look like real blood. But
No, it doesn't.
still.
But from a distance, when you have cops patrolling and you see this guy slumping his way to his apartment room like that, it's a little questionable. And also, this wasn't near Halloween. This was like mid-September.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was a fun story. Maybe we'll talk about that one day. Okay. So, anyways, next question. What do we got?
Do you think it is still a good idea for them to pulse for Premium Scream Night, even though they know that it's going to be way busier? Or should they run Premium Scream Night like a regular event night with reduced crowds? I think it's too late now to change it because people are paying for it to be pulsed. But I think if they wanted to change that for next year, if they notice that the lines are getting ridiculously long this year, I think they can maybe change that for next year. But I think people pay for that. And I think now it's way too late for them to make that change.
Yeah, I would say I know a lot of people who do go to Premium Scream Night. One of their biggest, like, the benefits of why they're doing this is because of the pulsing. However, though, I would be interested. What is that?
I don't know.
Is it nothing?
Is it buffering for you guys? It's just saying on my end that it's buffering.
Yeah, are we doing okay? Connection good? Connection good? How are we looking?
Oh, it just went away. I just needed to turn my Wi-Fi off, I guess, on my phone.
I knew it. That's why we gotta have everything off stuff.
All right.
It's okay. I'm gonna turn mine off too now. So with that, yeah, it's buffering on and off. Okay, we're good. We're back. You guys are good.
Spectrum has been really bad the past few days. I think maybe the weather.
No, Spectrum just sucks, to be honest.
Been really bad.
Okay, so anyways, like Jay said, the pulsing makes it worth it. I hate seeing scares in front of me. And yeah, and that's the thing. Like, they want you to have the premium experience at Halloween Horror Nights, and having your own, like, experience going through the house, being scared is great. My question would be is, would people still see the value to doing Premium Scream Night if they take the pulsing away and just conga line it like normal? Because again, like, I feel like the pulsing is cool, but I feel like, honestly, I'm like, okay, if they're going to do the conga line like normal, it's going to cut the wait times big time, especially when they're capping the event the way that they are for Premium Scream Night. I'm going to be able to get to go through the house so many times. I'll have the ability to have the experience of getting scared. But like, for instance, last year, they didn't sell out on tickets. And a lot of people said how great it was. They loved the pulsing. They loved the energy from the scare actors. This year, it'll be a little bit busier. The question is how busy is to see how that, functions. But I'm interested to find out, is the pulsing such a big draw for doing Premium Scream Night?
I think it is.
But
I think that and the food.
Okay, but is it more of a draw than the limited capacity of the event?
No.
You think the limited capacity is more of a draw?
No, I think the pulsing is more of a draw.
Than the limited capacity of the event?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
I would much rather go through a house. Like, I'd much rather the streets be full, but I get to pulse, than having to conga line, but then the streets are, like, empty.
Yeah. I don't know. Mick Bain, that's a good question. So pulsing, you mean like they send only you and your group, or like 10 at a time? I'm not sure. We weren't there. We've been to a couple events.
Only your group. Even if your group is only you.
Oh, sweet.
That's what Fred said.
Okay, cool. Sweet. Thanks, Fred, for that. Because we've been to a couple of like haunted events here and there where
like
they pulse. And sometimes it's like, okay, we're bringing 10 people in, or it's just your group. So it's cool to see that they did that.
Yeah.
But I wonder if that's the case because it wasn't as busy.
That might
than
change.
It hit numbers.
Yeah.
And this year they're like, to keep this kind of going so it doesn't get to 40 minutes for this house, we have to do 10 to 15 people, like 3 groups, not just one group, not just a single person, but 3 groups pulse.
Yeah.
But the problem is, even if they did that, if you're like the 6th person,
you still miss
you're
out.
gonna probably miss a scare, and you may not get that. So yeah, we'll see.
How many more on Instagram do you have?
Oh man, I have a good amount. I could just like start picking my favorite ones. You know what? I'll just let's do the next one. This comes from Bree Yarbrough saying a sleeper house prediction.
I think we talked about this last week. I'm gonna say dolls.
It's funny because my answer wants to be Jason Universe, but I'm going to agree with you on dolls because I feel like dolls have been in everybody's anticipation list. I've always seen dolls in the bottom 2. like bottom 2, bottom 3. I've always seen dolls kind of in the bottom. In most people's, dolls is in the bottom of ours too, right? But that doesn't.
I don't know.
Is it starting to get up there for you?
Yeah.
Maybe for me too. I don't know.
We'll see.
We'll do an anticipation list video, or maybe in our next live stream we'll do it. But I genuinely feel like dolls will be a sleeper for the fact that most people are not
Expecting it to be.
as highly anticipated as the other ones. They're not really looking forward to it as much, but it's gonna be the ones when they do it, they're like, whoa, like that was actually a lot of fun because their expectations are lower. I feel like that could be the reason why. So yeah, I agree with you. But I also want to say Jason Universe too, for some reason. Even though like I'm expecting it to be good, and I know it's high up on some people's list, I just feel like if done properly, if executed properly, I think some people are going to be like, that house is intense. And by having that energy, we'll obviously raise it. Do you want me to do Instagram one or YouTube one?
I only have like 2 more YouTube ones.
Okay, cool.
Do
a YouTube one. Go ahead.
Any tips for newcomers? Terrifier House is the reason I am going.
Have fun. Have fun.
If you see that the line for Terrifier is any less than 60 minutes, just get in. Just get in the line. If that's the only reason you're going, because it's going to get long.
Can you read the question again?
Any tips for newcomers? Terrifier is the reason why I'm going. Do that one first. Or at least...
Well, again, there's a lot of logistical questions that I would then ask you. Do you have Express Pass? What night are you going? All this, right?
So much.
But what's a good tip to actually give this person of the event?
Don't go in blind. Try to like plan out.
Yeah, true. Like have a plan. Do your research. Know the layout of the park. Know what's going to be open at what time. Do research.
Yeah.
I will say too, expect it to potentially rain depending on what day you're going. Always keep track of the weather.
Yes.
But here's a tip for you, right? Let's say you don't have Express Pass. Try to stay there all night. If you're, I don't know, but I would say try to stay there all night because usually in the last hour of the event, the wait times drastically drop. And that is a good chance to do a good amount of houses. You can get 2, 3, 4 plus houses in that final hour, especially depending where you're at, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to say this, ready? The sprung tent houses, the new ones from last year, in the last hour, Goblin's Feast was always just a walk on. You can just constantly loop that house. So if you're like, we don't have Express, we're only here for one night, I can guarantee you Fallout might be a little bit long, but in the last hour would be at its shortest wait. And I think Gulkin will be like Goblin's Feast last year, where it is like 5-minute wait. It's a walk-on. And that lasts hour to 30 minutes in the night. So it might be worth doing the sprung tents right there. And then maybe you get a chance where you got 10 minutes to go to one more house before closing the night out. Mm-hmm. I would say that. Use that.
Yeah, and if you're really serious about like trying to do as much as you can, don't roll up to the park like at opening, because you won't get into the park for like an hour after it opens, because it takes forever to get through City Walk with the security and then walking up there, getting through the line, because the lines for getting into the park and security are always super long right at like park, like event open.
Like 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock.
So get there early.
Yeah, that's another good one. Like if you have Stanscream or you have a park ticket, like you're fine. But if you're just going for HHN, do not plan to get there at opening.
Or like
if the
5
event
minutes
starts,
before.
If the event starts at 6 o'clock, you want to be getting to City Walk, like parking, at 3 o'clock. Like 3 hours before.
I would say like 4:30 at the latest.
No, bro. No. 3 o'clock, go to City Walk, get some food, hang out, have a drink, pregame, chill out. Because next you know, it's going to be 6 o'clock, like just like that.
Yeah.
Because 6 o'clock after 8 o'clock is horrible to be trying to get into the event. It is, the traffic there is so bad. Like if you are planning to get to Universal at 8 o'clock for Halloween Horror Nights, it's going to be an hour sometimes just getting on property and
Just
going through
parking,
security,
well,
parking, all of that.
If you're driving a car.
Yeah,
but-
that's again more questions. But
Yeah.
for anybody listening, try to get there very early.
Stay very
Or
late.
just-
Get there early. Stay
yeah.
late.
Good luck.
Maximize your time.
Yeah, see, Fred said you got to show up at least 2 hours before a rope drop. I agree.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, if it starts at 6, I'd say 3. Go get a bite,
And then
relax, and enjoy it.
the last question that I had from YouTube was, what music are you hoping they have?
I'd love to have Molchaldoma. I'd love to have Moon Vampire. I'd love to have Pastel Ghosts, Crystal Castles, like that kind of vibe. However, I don't think that's what we're getting. I think we're getting atmospheric type of music, and it's
Yeah.
just gothic, kind of like a Graveyard Deadly Unrest was the scare
Yeah.
zone, kind of that vibe. That's what I'm thinking.
I don't know. I want to go with the theme, but at the same time, like the type of music that I like at HHN is like heavy metal.
Okay, I'm gonna jump in for Steph and say this. I feel like next year is gonna be your year with music.
Probably. I like
think that's
I
gonna be
like
the
the
vibe.
way they do it in Hollywood, where like
The Toy Scare Zone.
you got the fire and the heavy metal, and it's just like
Toy Scare Zone. Yeah,
that's what I like.
Toys was awesome, man.
Yeah.
2023 Toy Scare Zone, like, just gave me a different perspective on life. It was so cool.
Yeah.
We spent most of our time at HHN Hollywood just in the Toy Scare Zone, like a whole day. Our second day, we just what we did. So yeah, yeah, there we go. Music, sweet. Javier said Midnight Syndicate, maybe.
Maybe.
Do you like wigs? All right, I'm gonna get to some IG questions. I realize we've already been an hour and 42 minutes. I realize
Yeah.
like
I gotta be up
this
in
would-
like 7 hours.
Okay, let's get this moving. 4 more questions on Instagram, and then I gotta get back to Jessica's, which will be the 4th one. Cool. Okay, this one comes from Car Awesome 40 saying, "Have you done an RIP tour? What should we expect?"
We have only done an RIP tour in the way that we did Media Night, and they put us on an RIP tour for Media Night.
That's
But
not
it's
like
different.
it's not like
So-
a legitimate RIP
It's
that you
not
pay
like
for.
a normal RIP tour. So
Yeah.
I would say no.
As in,
truthfully.
we've done it, yeah. But we have done it, right? So, for instance, you should expect to have a great time. You should expect to be able to do all houses of the event without even sweating.
Yeah, this
You
is
get
RIP tour is like the one thing, the like one instance where we're like, you could just show up. Like you don't have to
don't
like
plan anything.
you don't have to like plan.
They take care of it for you. They'll make sure you get everything you want done. So like just have fun, right? Just like cut loose, have fun. With an RIP tour, like again, what should you expect? You're gonna be able to do all houses. You're not gonna wait in line for the houses. They skip all the lines. They go right up to the front of the house, right? Sometimes, especially where Dolls is gonna be this year in the old Sprung tent, sometimes you don't get to see the facade. Sometimes they kind of do like a back door into the entrance, which is kind of a bummer. So if you get to at the end of your RIP tour, at the end of the night, try to go through to see the facade. I would say that's to keep that in mind.
Yeah, sometimes I believe sometimes they end early and then you can like
Yeah. Yeah, they're not going till 2 a.m. Sometimes
yeah.
they end.
So you can
early.
go back through like
Yeah.
certain things if you want.
That also works for the attractions. So if you and your group want to do the attractions too, like Men in Black, if you want to do the Mummy, sometimes that's fun. Change it up in the night, give you some thrill.
No.
That's messed up.
Just kidding.
That was so messed up. Dang, too early.
Too soon. Sorry. But yeah,
That
no.
really hurt.
Technically, we have not done an RIP tour.
Yeah.
But like, kind of.
Here, I'm going to say this, right? Of course, it depends on the type of person you are when it comes to RIP, but get to know the people in your group. I feel like sometimes the best RIP groups is when everybody's mingling very well. And, talk with your RIP tour guide, get to know them. There are a lot of
Definitely do
fun
that.
people because the more it's just like a vibe, like you're going to get to know more about the event than you would through just the normal tour itself. And, sometimes they hook you up, you never know. And they'll be like, you guys want to go through the house again? You want to do it again? You never know, right? So I always say, like, just get to know the people in your group. Get to know the RP tour guide, have fun, go through that, because I feel like it elevates the experience versus just kind of. And again, it depends on the person you are. Sometimes Steph and I, we're very reserved. Sometimes we're like, I don't want to talk to people. But
it's too late now. But the number one tip for an RIP tour is ask for Dave. But it's too late if you've already planned it.
Yeah,
it's
Dave's
too late
really
in the
cool.
season.
There's still some great
He's
people.
probably
but Dave
already
is,
booked up, but
Dave
he's
is one of
great.
our favorites. He's awesome. So
You got any other questions?
yeah, I think my whole stream over here froze. So all right,
No.
let's get to some questions here.
I think you're good.
Is everybody in the chat alive? You guys still alive? It's what time is it? It's oh my gosh, that's a screenshot. It's almost at 8:25. The event hasn't started. It's 10:16. We're getting close to being 2 hours live here, so we're gonna try to wrap it up pretty quick. I want to say this real quick too. No Fright Island episode tonight. Possibly the next one, but no Fright Island episode tonight. So sorry to the 10 people looking forward to that. This next question on Instagram comes from Amanda7 saying, do you think the Terrifier house will live up to all this hype of Bloodiest House?
Bloodiest? Yes. But I don't know about the hype in general. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, I don't know. Good question. Because we've had some bloody houses before, right? We have bloody scenes. I genuinely will say yes. I think they're just going to put blood where they can put blood just to make it, excuse me, what they said is the bloodiest house of HHN history. I think so. I think, especially with it being an IP, they're like, we need to hit this. Like, we have to drive this home. So I can see that. The question is, are we talking blood or gore, right? Because they can have blood on things, but like, are we going to have gory scenes? It's going to be the most gory house that we've ever had of HHN, of where you're seeing the scenes act out and it's like really bloody and gory, which potentially, especially with that wet path, like maybe they try to do things like that. But as far as the amount of blood that is drawn on the house and spread around, I definitely could see that be a potential.
Yeah, I think it'll be very bloody. I don't know about like in general, like
how do you
the
weigh
hype.
that, right? Or the hype for it? Yeah, but I guess what they're leveling up to be, hey, this is gonna be the bloodiest house we've ever had.
Yeah, I don't think that's that hard to do.
Question for you guys: what is the bloodiest house that we've ever had in Halloween Horror Nights history to this point?
Maybe one of the Saw houses.
Ooh, that's a good mention. Saw. Sometimes I feel like Nightingales. I feel like Nightingales is usually pretty bloody. Chad, I'm looking at you.
I don't know.
What do you guys think up to this point has been considered the bloodiest house in Halloween Horror Nights history? Because Steph said Saw, which is a great point. Good IP to bring up there. I mentioned Nightingales. I feel like Nightingales has been a good one. Like Nightingale's blood pit, like literally blood's in the name. They had a dead horse at the entrance, like the facade, and they had heads everywhere. Like, I feel like Nightingales is up there too. I'll wait for you guys to put it in the chat.
It's gotta be an IP.
Yeah. Well, do you think so?
Yeah.
I feel like they have more range with originals.
Yeah, but I feel like if they have the option, they don't go just gore.
Yeah, but what about like triplets too? Triplets had a lot of gore and blood.
That's what Fred said. Triplets.
Yeah, triplets
was pretty bloody.
I feel like there's got to be one from way back then.
Javier coming in with the Slaughterhouse from HHN.
See, 3. Yeah, I was like, there's got to be something from way back then. That's like, that was like when legal was not a department.
Yeah.
That was the glory
They
days
just
when
did whatever
legal.
they wanted.
Yeah, the legal department did not get in the way of things. Now I think these theme parks are ran by the legal department.
They are.
Yeah, Javier said Slaughterhouse from HHN 3. I need to look into that. I want to look that up.
Cool.
Sweet. Okay. Next question.
Hmm?
Cool. I gotta remember to look that up. Okay. Next one comes from Tiffany from Instagram saying hype list. So we said this before, I think, in the live stream earlier on.
We will get into this in
The
our next live stream. We'll do our anticipation list.
Yeah, we may do a video between now and our next live stream, which is going to be our most anticipated for this year's event. It'll be the whole list. We're talking houses, scare zones, shows, food, all that kind of stuff.
If we know the food.
I'm hoping we do. If we don't by then, I'm gonna be really upset. But we'll be doing all of that, and then we'll do the live stream, which kind of recaps it, talks about the whole event, talks about our anticipation list, talks about it with you guys. But if we don't do that video, we'll just do our list in the live stream.
Mm-hmm.
So how about this? I'll spin it on. What is your number one most anticipated house for this year's event? And
I
that
need
goes
to think about it.
that goes to you guys too in the chat. What is your number one most anticipated house for Halloween Horror Nights 34 here in Orlando? What are you guys looking forward to the most? And again, we'll actually
LRT.
talk about this next live stream as well.
That's mine. LRT.
Javier said, "Legal who?" Yeah, they're actually knocking on the door downstairs right now. I'm gonna have to have a talk with them soon.
We got Grave of Flesh, Jason, Wyatt 6.
I wonder if there would be each house listed in the chat from a different person.
Two
A
more
couple of
Jason.
Jasons. Is Jason really like that high up on people's
I
list?
mean, come on, it's Jason. He's a
Yeah, no,
Titan
I know.
of terror.
Yeah, I get that. I just like, it's so funny how I genuinely feel like they've been marketing Five Nights at Freddy's and Terrifier as more of like, oh, this is going to be the draw for this year. But I
mean,
have
they
been,
have.
yeah. But I have been seeing a lot of people talk about Jason. But I'm surprised that like even in the chat, I'm looking at it and it's like, Jason. It's Jason Universe.
Fallout.
Okay, we got a Fallout. Okay, so we got Grave of Flesh, Jason, Wyatt, WW, El Artista, Fallout. So we have 5 of them. Yeah, Nick said Fallout, but the show rating was eh.
Dolls.
Dolls, okay. Anybody looking forward to Gulkin? Is that your number one? Do we have any Gulkin fans out there?
I know we have Terrifier people, but they're not putting it in the chat.
Yeah, I know Terrifier's up there. I've seen people talk about earlier from Five Nights at Freddy's. I've seen that. I know there are fans out there for Gulk, and I've seen them in past live streams as well. So I know like Gulkin's out there. Hatchet and Chains. I have not really heard about Hatchet and Chains tonight much. We haven't talked about Hatchet and Chains either. Hatchet and Chains is gonna be a really good house. I think you guys are gonna love Hatchet and Chains. Yeah, Fred said Terrifier. So Fred's gonna take Terrifier. So we got people up there with different ones, which is cool. Okay. Also, it's not a question, but you know, Eddie Tainment put this in there, so I'm just gonna put that out there. Eddie Tainment said, "Spill the beans on dolls, Brian." This is all I'm gonna say about dolls. Bed. 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 That's for you, Eddie. That's all I'm saying. He should know what that is. If he doesn't, then we'll have a talk about it.
Do you have any other questions?
I have one more.
Jessica's? Or
Jessica.
yeah.
I'm just looking at what else people are saying is their number one. Jenna said Gulkin's my number 2. Tyler Swanson said Gulkin was mine until I found out some stuff about it, so I don't know. Sad.
That's how I feel. Sorry, go on. That's how I feel about the whole event right now is like, I'm just like, they could all be great. I don't know.
Yeah. And I think they will be. Or they could all be bad. And
I don't think so.
we got gypped. But no, I think this event's gonna be great. I think this is gonna be one of those events where I genuinely believe when we go through an experience, like for instance, doing our anticipation list, our 1 through 10, it's like, remember how in past years we're like 10, 9, and 8, they're like really down there. Then like 7 through 4 are like really right there, and then 3 to 1 are like super close. You know what I'm saying? Where you can like tier it. I feel like this year it's like, okay, honestly, they're all on the same platform. It's up and down depending. That's how good I feel like this year's laying out to be.
We'll see.
But I feel like going through the event this year and actually experiencing it, I think it'll also carry on like that. It'll remind me of like HHN 30, where it's like, man, like there's 4 to 5 houses that I'm like, could be my number one depending on the night. I feel like this year is going to give us that vibe. Where I feel like the past few years, we know like
We'll see.
2. I know, but I'm just
We'll
saying, that's
see.
what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. Okay, final question. This is going to be our final question of the night for our live Q&A. Our second to last live stream before the opening night of Halloween Horror Nights. That's crazy. Anyways, Steph's giving me that look. It is also.
I'm so.
It's about
It
to be
just
10:30.
hit me. I'm so tired.
I
This
can
is
see
like
you.
past my bedtime.
Yeah, that's true. I'm also getting tired, and I still haven't had dinner. Final question, and this is the one I wanted to end on because I think it hits some nerves, some sentimental stuff.
Oh my goodness.
Jessica Ann 15 on Instagram said, "What is your favorite Halloween Horror Nights memory?" Chat, this is for you guys too. For all of you guys that are still awake, watching us on a Tuesday evening before HHN, what is your favorite Halloween Horror Nights memory of all time? I already know mine. Always the easiest one.
What is yours?
You. I saw a little smile getting in there before you did that.
Gross.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, definitely Monsters 2019. Just the whole season.
2019 was just incredible. Getting to perform in the classic Monsters house, and the one that really like kind of kicked it off here in Orlando, and having the Monsters like year after year. It was such an honor to play the character of Dracula, and really like I started in 2017. My first year attending the event was 2014, but performing as a scare actor really like changed my perspective on a lot of things, and especially getting to play a role like Dracula in 2019. It actually changed my life. Like I look at how my life has been. That 2019 year when I got to portray Dracula, my life became what it is now. Got to be with Steph, got to meet Steph. Obviously, here we are, right? Rocking with you guys. Getting to meet you guys has been great, but also my best friend, got to meet him that year. I met him the year before, but we really clicked. We did 2.5 mile runs between sets and working out and stuff. Like the 2019 year was just so great. The synth, everything.
We did also go through in 2021, maybe. We did also go through every house
I'd
name
love to
is
help
just
you, but
leaving
yeah.
my brain the second I go to say it.
I'm like, what are you saying?
Wicked Growth, like as it turned to Halloween, like right at midnight, and then it turned to Halloween, we did Wicked Growth. We were like in the what?
Go ahead.
We were in
Yeah, we were in the room with the Pumpkin Lord.
yes.
Yeah. Cool.
That was cool. Sorry, I'm so
No, you're good.
I'm so
You're good.
out of it.
You're good. I'm trying to think of some more. I mean, even like our Hollywood trip,
Yeah,
like
that
getting
too.
to do HHN Hollywood together for the first time.
That too, yeah.
That was a lot of fun. I mean, I'm also I'm gonna give a honorable mention to my first year in 2014, when this is one of the most. It's like traumatizing, but it's also like the most memorable moment I've had at HHN, which I guess is the question. When I got to experience my first haunted house ever in my life, and it was Halloween in HHN 24. Seeing Michael Myers' house and hearing the, dun 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 dun, and like that whole scene. It was one of those things, like I remember looking at it thinking like, this is where I die, this is it, and I don't know why I'm here, but it was so cool, like being with my family, and that kind of like got that little bug in me. I don't know if I have the photo anymore, like iCloud photos. I don't know how this stuff works. My phone's broken so many times, but there's a photo out there. I gotta find it. I think it's on my old laptop that I still have. I think it's under this one, where I had a photo coming out of Halloween, and I took a selfie of my dad behind me. That's not how the way we entered, by the way. My dad was the last person to go through. I was the third person in our like 7-person group, and it was just me and my dad. Like our group, that was so funny. My mom being scared by the car, it was great. But that scene, when I left the house, I took a picture. My dad's behind me. He's looking like how my dad looks. And there's a Michael Myers coming out after us because he was at the exit of the house too. That was just kind of cool. And in that moment is when that kind of bug flipped in my brain, where I was like,
The bug flipped.
yeah, it was upside down. Now it's standing on all 4 toes or whatever it's got, And I was like, this is kind of cool. Like I was terrified, but I'm like, this is cool. Like I think I'm gonna have a good night tonight. So that sticks with me. My first house. I also remember the first time I went through.
He's just gonna go through every memory he's ever had.
2017, The Shining. When I went through that house for the first time, it was after set. I ran into the house to go experience it. I was all by myself. That terrified me because I was alone. I did that for that house and Scarecrow before. But The Shining, I remember going through it. I've never seen the movie, so I don't know what was going on. And I was just like, I don't know what this is. I'm freaking out. And I just remember the coordinator, whoever the whatever assistant stage manager was just following me through the house. And I'm just like, I got every scare. It was great. It was memorable. But yeah. You stuff? Just 2019?
Yep. Sorry, I got something in my eye.
It wouldn't be the time that you won that giant bat and came around in the house and presented it?
We can go through memory lane on another. We can do a whole 2-hour-long live stream where we just go down memory lane.
I want to see some people's, let's see, like Jenna said, my first HHN with the Halloween house a few years ago. The scare in the closet got me so good, and now I'm hooked and can never miss a year. I know that feeling. Jack said, taking newbies into the chainsaws and fog after scanning our tickets, so good every time. Yeah, even like taking somebody who's never been for their first time and seeing their reaction after you've been so many times and seeing that they like love it, that's always like a good feeling. It's always a good feeling. Jessica Richards, she said that was my question. And mine is my first HHN house was in 2022, Dead Man's Pier Winter's Wake. Will always remember this house for the beauty and be my first house ever. Yeah, Jessica, first of all, great question. But I do feel like a lot of the times people's most memorable moment at HHN is their first house. Like that experience of going through and seeing the facade and experiencing it.
Don't remember my first house.
Really?
Nope.
No way. You don't remember your first house?
No.
I mean, technically it's the one you performed, I guess.
Yeah, I was working it. Don't remember which one was first.
Wow.
No idea.
That's crazy, actually. That kind of makes me sad. But that I know you're like, I don't care.
Yeah. I'm not a sentimental person. If you guys have
she's
not caught on to that.
Steph has cried, like genuinely cried one time of us being together.
No. I cry out of frustration.
She cries for other things, like seeing like old couples or animals in need of help, like obviously. But like sentimentally between each other, she's cried one time, and it's when I proposed. And that was kind of it.
It's just like I don't look at things like that. Like I don't feel the need to like save things or like remember certain memories. Like I'm just like
It's because she's badass, and that's why we have the hardware we have right here. Florida State champion. I mean, look at that. That's why.
callous.
Yeah. Also, Fred said watching the rat lady get wheeled down the street. I wish I got to experience that. Yo, Javier, huge shout out to you, dude. I missed the Publix ticket deals. I remember going to HHN 25 my first year, and on the final night for $50, good times. Yeah, I miss when Publix had like all that decor and like tickets. And I remember even in City Walk, like the Burger King, you'd go up there, get a Whopper, and they would give you a deal to go to HHN for like $60.
Back when they needed people to go. Now it's like,
well, they
need less people to go.
Yeah, like, golly. Anyways, we're at 2 hours in live stream.
I'm at my bedtime.
It's time to go to bed. So, this is what we're going to do, folks.
Thank you for all your questions.
Yeah.
By the way.
First of all, huge shout out to you guys.
It was fun.
Thanks for sticking around 2 hours. It is, past 10:30 right now on the East Coast. Huge shout out to you guys. Thanks again for all the support and everything. We're genuinely excited. We're genuinely very tired right now too, but we're very excited for this year's HHN. It's right around the corner. I'm excited to see all of you guys get the chance to go and experience it, see what you guys think. But that's going to do it for us, tonight's live stream, because we're going to be up early. You got to be up early. I get to sleep in tonight, thankfully, but we'll see. And we'll have another live stream. We'll do one more before the event kicks off. We're planning for next week, Tuesday. So if you guys want to join us for our Halloween Horror Nights Eve live stream, it'll be next week. Tuesday is what we're currently planning. But I'll give you guys any updates on socials and here on YouTube as well, the closer we get. And we'll talk all things Halloween Horror Nights, and we'll get into our anticipation list and all that stuff with you guys. But before we go, there's one more thing we got to do.
You guys want to come say goodnight?
We're going to introduce... Wow, that was an awesome jump. We're going to introduce the 11th haunted house for next year's event. The first announcement for next year is the Dogs of Terror, presented by Hondo Horror Nights. Here's our wiggle butts. Look at the wiggle on this thing. Oh, big yawn. You're tired too, huh? Oh, hold up. Don't knock this over.
Gonna turn the stream off.
Yeah, right. So huge shout out to you guys. We appreciate all of you guys so much for all the continuous support. But that's gonna wrap it up for us. And I just want to end this live stream too with scripture real quick from Proverbs 3:5-6. I want to say this: trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your path straight. And it's not talking about Hondo this time. But have faith. We're excited. We're praying for you guys. We love you guys. Thanks again for all the support. Until the next video, that's going to do it for us here in Casa del Hondo. As he's over there breakdancing on the floor. Till next video, we look forward to see you guys there. And like always, happy Halloween, guys. We'll catch you guys in the fog. Good night, folks.
Bye.